There's a black woman who had her home raided by the cops. They thought her boyfriend or maybe perhaps her were drug dealers. They were not. They were not drug dealers. They found no drugs, but they seized thousands of dollars and called it, this is the money seizure for evidence. Put up the picture of this young lady. There's a black woman who had her home raided by the cops. They thought her boyfriend or maybe perhaps her were drug dealers. They were not. They were not drug dealers. They found no drugs, but they seized thousands of dollars and called it, this is the money seizure for evidence. Put up the picture of this young lady. No signs of criminal activity. A local Westchester County Police squad seized and kept thousands of dollars found in a black woman's Rochester, New York home. After a year and a half, the money has not been returned to the entrepreneur, and she has aligned with a pro bono legal team to assist her in fighting to get her property back. Her name is Cristal Starling. Let's put a picture back up again. Okay. This woman saved $8,000 and some change. Okay. She had it stolen by the police. She sold no drugs, nor was she ever connected to selling drugs. They still arrested the boyfriend. I'm gonna get into that in a minute. He was acquitted. You would think, okay, well, obviously they have to return everything, right? She's not guilty of any crimes. He's not guilty. They took money. They're gonna return the money. We have uncovered a sinister plot. In October 2020, members of the Rochester Police Department raided Cristal Starling and her then boyfriend's West Main Street apartment. Law enforcement suspected the man of selling drugs based on contraband found in another home, the DNC reports. After combing through the residence, officers were unable to find any narcotics, but they found $8,040, seizing the funds as evidence. 2 cars, and arrested the boyfriend, believing he was a drug dealer. Now, you gotta understand the level of insanity already presented here. They thought he was a drug dealer because there was contraband in another home. Not that they saw him transact a drug deal, or there was a witness saying that he was a drug dealer, or even a confidential informant who provided an affidavit saying this person sells drugs. They found contraband in another home, decided to raid a home that he was in, and found no evidence of narcotics dealing whatsoever. But they still arrested him, seized the money as evidence, seized his vehicles and other things. He said, listen, I'm not guilty of any of this. There's more. Starling, the young lady, was never accused of wrongdoing, even after her boyfriend was acquitted. And the 2 cars were returned, but not her money. I thought that was the standard here. Acquitted, not guilty. You get everything back, right? Well, in an attempt to get the money returned after the acquittal, she ran into several obstacles before connecting with the Nonprofit Institute for Justice, a libertarian organization that specializes in fighting such civil forfeiture cases. After trial, I tried to get my money back, Starling said. They sent me through this whole process of trying to get it through the courts, and I still did not get it. Remember, this is her money. Federal prosecutors maintain they gave her direct notice about the procedure for getting her money back, and she did not follow the rules. There's more. In a statement on their website, the Institute alleges the government never even tried to show that Cristal had done anything wrong, but it was able to take her money by tying her up in complicated legal procedures. Her new representation says This is not an isolated situation. Many who have experienced forfeiture of money, particularly low amounts, get frustrated with the process and give up. Some don't see the benefit in acquiring a lawyer that they will have to pay to retrieve the money. But Starling did not give up. Rob Johnson, an attorney for the Institute, said, this is sort of the typical case. So you mean to tell me that they can come take your money? After they take your money, they find out, well, you know what? We were actually wrong. You're not guilty of any crime. So our presumption of your guilt and then the arrest that followed was incorrect. They don't have to return your money. But they offered to give her half of it back. They don't have to return it unless you go through these legal hoops and loops, right? Okay. The average value of forfeiture cases is small. This is what the attorney says, meaning it doesn't make sense for most people to hire a lawyer, even if they could afford one. You don't think they know that? That's why they keep the money. And most civil forfeiture cases end with missed deadlines rather than a decision on the merits. The organization argues property owners are forced to run a procedural gauntlet, and they lose by default if they make just a single mistake. You see the racket here? Do you see the racket? You have to file this by this deadline, this by that deadline. You have to come to court to do this. You have to go to court to do that. People have lives. People have to live. This is money that you took. It's called theft. In any other arena, that's called theft, right? Okay. For Starling, it should never be this complicated. She believes since she did not do anything, nor was she charged with anything, she believes the money should be hers. The new strategy is to appeal the district court's decision to the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. Now, let me tell you why this case is so important to follow. If they are successful, I'm talking about Ms. Starling. If successful, it creates legal precedent, case law, a bona fide judicial solution that says the government cannot do this to citizens or even non-citizens. The property does not belong to them. Now remember the height of hypocrisy here, even though they claim, hey, she missed this deadline, and because of that, we get to keep the money. They still offered her half of it. She refused it. She said, either give me all of my money or give me my jury. Good for her. Good for her. Do you know how many people took the deal? Plenty. I would dare say over 90%. You know how many individuals decided just let it go because the amount was so small? Now, damn it, if you take 50 cents from me, I'm getting 2 quarters back. Better believe that. So I'm glad she's fighting this all the way to the appeals process in federal court, because if successful, this case changes the law moving forward. Jackson, thoughts here?
Yeah, so this type of civil asset forfeiture in general is just arbitrary organized theft. That's all it is. And any types of systemic plots basically like this, whether it be put forth by law enforcement or you look at big banks, Wells Fargo on trial, things like that, and they're like, oh,